up? What up, what up, what up? We back, baby, we back! Woohoo! Alright. Another day of Jiu-Jitsu. Just getting out of class now. Hung out with the boys. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, gi class. Holla at ya bar. Oh man, today was fun, man. Today we had a good time, man. I enjoyed myself, and right now I'm just pulling out of the parking lot, trying to talk to you guys while I get out of this damn parking lot. Try not to hit nobody. But today was a blast, man. Today we did more breaking the guard from full guard. We did that for our technique today. After I worked all day, I should have started with what I did today, how I started my day. I started my day with work. I worked. Sorry about that. Check it out. I got a new light. Got me a light. Una luz. Un luz. Para la personas cuanto hablo español. Un luz para mí. And now I'm driving home. Anyways, yeah, I started the day with working. I worked in the morning, and then had me a bite to eat. I started cooking dinner early for the girly, and then I came out here. She worked all day, so then I came here. Like I said, we worked breaking the full guard, and then we did some games with breaking the full guard, where we started. We started in the guard, and then you would try to break the guard and pass their guard, or you would try to sweep them, and we would just do that, and we would cycle through that, filter out through that, and then after that we had about 2 rolls. First roll was with a black belt Mike. Mikey's a dog. Mikey's a legend, bro. He teaches our kickboxing class, and I think I talked about him last time. But he showed me this arm drag. I think it's called a sucker drag from headlock. Look up sucker drag from headlock. And I don't know why I'm just learning it now, but man, he was hitting me with it constantly, because I would get him into headlock, and that's where I would usually rest, because he's a black belt. He's real good. So I would just try to catch my breath right there real quick. And he told me, he's like, dude, you got to just go to the back. You can't sit there in that headlock position, because he'll sucker drag me, which he did multiple times. But I understood to go to the back next time, but I also wanted to learn how to hit that sucker drag in case somebody gets that on me. And it ended up being a very easy position to learn. So after class, when I was sitting on the mat, and some of the white belts were coming up to me asking me questions, I couldn't help but to show them this new trick that I learned, because I was really excited about it. And so I showed a couple of the guys. We had a new guy actually today. He came from another school in the area. He was a young guy, and his name is Maximo. Shout out to you, Maximo. Hopefully we'll see you again, and hopefully you'll come through the school and train with us again. But shout out to Maximo. But he was a real cool kid, a young kid. I guess he trained somewhere else nearby since he was real young. So I asked him first thing. I said, you trained before? Because when you have enough experience, you can tell when somebody is brand new and when somebody's had a little bit of something. And I could tell he had a little bit of something. But he had his youthful exuberance, if you will. Still, you know, he kind of he was still a little bit impatient, if you will. That young impatientness, that young exuberance that some of these young guys have, where when you're learning technique, they don't really go step by step. They just hit the whole thing in one move, you know? And you're like, bro, we're going to go slow now, because you're doing it good. You're doing something, but you're not doing the move. You know, you're busting out of it, but that's not what we're learning today. You know what I'm saying? And because he has some experience too, he kind of was just kind of hearkening back to his, you know, his youthful exuberance. So I had to kind of slow him down a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know, people are going to learn that on their own time. You know, you can't stop these young guys from from being young guys and using their speed and their power and slow them down and try to get them to focus on technique, because that's just not where their mind's at. And you spend half the class trying to teach them that. So best not to waste time, and best let them just do their thing. You tell them once or twice and then let them do their thing, and then that's that, and then you just have fun and hope they come back, So that was real cool meeting Maximo today. I like to roll with the new guys that come through, just because, for one, it's fun for me meeting new people, and it's fun seeing what everybody can do. So like I said, some people are new, some people aren't. Some people trained a long time, some people haven't. So I like to at least get one roll with somebody new that comes to class, or I like to do technique with them and just hang out and talk to them and get to know them. So that's really what I did today. Was I hung out with Maximo, and we did our technique together. And then after, I think Coach let him stay and do the games that we were playing, because he had a little bit of technique. And then once the rolls came, I think he bounced. So we'll see. I caught up with him after class. That was one of the guys I was telling you I showed that arm drag to, and he was asking a few other questions about getting out of full guard, because he was trying to do what we learned in class, and what we learned in class wasn't working for him in our sparring or the gameplay that we were doing. And so he was wondering if there was maybe any other techniques that would also work for him. So the technique we were learning in class was standing up in full guard, which I personally don't like too much, just because I feel like it's exposing too much, if you will. It's like you're giving the guy first an opportunity to get up, and you're also giving him an opportunity to trip you. And I feel like my legs get exposed too for guys that are good at leg locks, So I showed him some stuff from just passing from the knees, some stuff I like, putting the knee behind the butt, pushing on the hips, just some simple basics that I like, that seem to work for me a lot of times. And so he was real cool. He hung out for that, and then he bounced, man. But he said he was training at another school right down the road, and he said he'd been training there since he was a kid, and he couldn't have been more than maybe like 23, 24. So he must have been training for, I would say, at least 5 years, if he said since he was a kid. I mean, that'd make him like 16, 17, I would call that more of a kid, 16, 17 and younger. Once you hit 18, 19, I don't know if I would have used that reference, but he was decent. I think he's got some work to do. He was a real skinny kid. He was real skinny, so I mean, I think he still kind of had the body of a kid. He's trying to get, he still hadn't grown into his man body yet, but you could tell he was strong for his size, like he was muscular. So we'll see, man. Like I said, he trained at this other school. He said he wanted to try something new. He'd been training there since he was a kid. And that's kind of what I did. I told him I didn't start there either. I didn't start at Wagner Rochas either. I started at American Top Team in Davie. Florida, which was also a good school. My issue with that school, why I left that school, was because of the pandemic. And when the pandemic hit, everybody was running their classes a little bit differently. I understood it's business. You want to keep your business open. You want to cater your business to the biggest population that you can of people. And if that means, having people wear masks when they roll, and putting tape on the ground and making people stay within their borders or whatever, then you do that, But that I wasn't concerned so much at that time, and I wanted to continue training, and I wanted to continue training the way I had always been training, and that was the only thing that was really helping me through that period of time, was getting to train. Obviously there was a time I didn't train. I think I took a year off, during that time. But I wanted to continue training, and they were doing things to cater to a lot of different people, whether it be people that were worried, people that had kids or whatever, and I wasn't. Wagner Rocha's was more so like professionals were still continuing to train, and as a result of that, you know, they weren't taking a lot of, they weren't really shutting down their business or constricting the business as some other places were, and so I liked that about it, and so I started there, and then slowly but surely I just kept coming back, man, and I really enjoyed the school, and I enjoy Wagner, I enjoy the other professors, Rodrigo, Adrian, everybody through the years that's come through there. Never had a bad teacher there, never had one that I didn't like. And the cool part was everybody does their classes a little bit different, so you get to, you know, you go somewhere for 6 to 8 years, 10 years, you're gonna have multiple coaches or professors through the years, and so you're gonna get a little taste of what each one does and how they like to teach and the techniques they like to show, and for that I really enjoy that. And so that's one thing that I got to experience at Wagner's. Wagner's always been there, but he really only teaches no gi, and I really like gi. I also enjoy no gi, but I've been focusing mostly on gi lately, and so for me it's been working out really nice. You know, the only problem with it for me is it's about a half an hour from my house, so every day I got to drive 30 minutes out there. You get out, classes start at 6, so I get out of work at 5, I get home, I shower, you know, I maybe get some food going or whatever, and then get dressed and all that. It's already 5:30, drive out there, it's about half an hour. I get there usually about 6:10 depending on traffic, right? So I'm always a little bit late to class, and so I don't always get the warm-ups, which is kind of a shame because first of all, I'm a brown belt, so I should probably be setting the tone for the younger guys to always be on time, especially if I'm looking to get my black belt. And then also, you know, that's a good way to warm up. You know, it's good for warming up your muscles and your nervous system, and getting you going before class, you know. So I probably should be trying to make it, you know, as best as an attempt to get there on time as possible, which I do. But, you know, more frequently than not, I'm usually about 5 to 10 minutes late to class, unfortunately. So that's basically what happened today, man. I showed up a little bit late, went right into technique, and that was basically how today went with that. You know, besides that, I want to talk a little bit about politics today. I know that Donald Trump, he went to China today, or yesterday, or maybe the day before, and he went out to China to talk to the leaders over there about tariffs and about business and about getting things going for the relationship between China and the U.S. And so, if you know anything about the relationship with China and the U.S., it's hot and cold, you know? One day we love them, one day we hate them, you know? One day we love them, one day we hate them. At least as far as the media goes. But the media is not really a good representation of what's really going on, from my experience, and you sort of have to pull yourself away from it and take like a 900-foot view of what's really going on with the relationship with China. You know, we're close partners with China. We're close friends with them in reality. You know, we share a lot of things. They manufacture just about everything for us, as you guys well know. So we have to maintain that close relationship with them, whether we like it or not. They make our drugs, they make our products, they make a lot of stuff for us. You know, those relationships are very important to the United States, whether or not we want to pretend like it is or not, you know. So it's good that he's going out there, it's good that he's talking to them, and it's good that hopefully maybe they can make some kind of deals to benefit the U.S. Hopefully it's not just deals to benefit big business and the Trump family. Hopefully it's deals to benefit the American people as a whole. And, you know, you really never know what goes on behind these closed doors or what deals are made. I do know that he brought in a bunch of CEOs from different corporations in the U.S. to go along with him, and that can only mean one thing: is they're trying to make some business deals, right? So, is it fair that these companies, these select companies, get to be chauffeured in with Trump to meet the leaders of the country? No. Why are they getting chauffeured in? Probably because they contributed to his election, right? And that's just the reality of it. Unfortunately, not everybody has that opportunity. So if you contributed to his organization, or if you're friends with him, or whatever the case might be, you had that opportunity to go with him. And all you can hope for is that they have some of the American people's interests at heart, and they're doing what's best for us as well with this trip, and hopefully they make some kind of deal here shortly. That's all you can really hope for, guys. We as citizens, we don't really have control of any of that stuff. You make your vote, and then from there they do whatever they want, right? They can do what they said they were going to do, or they can do the complete opposite of what they said they were going to do. And both has happened under this leadership of the country. So you have to keep that in mind. That's not just him, though. That's every president probably ever, right? So it's sad, but it's true. They don't always do what they say they're going to do, but sometimes they do. And you really don't have much control of that as a U.S. citizen. So for us as U.S. citizens, it becomes very frustrating sometimes, and sometimes it can make you angry. And that's kind of the climate of the country right now, is a lot of angry people, at least as far as the politics are concerned. Now, day to day, when you're dealing with people on the street, everybody here is pretty cool. Everybody's pretty chill. As long as you don't talk about religion and politics, usually you're going to find happy, smiley faces, whether or not that be people that you talk with that are in the liberal camp or in the more conservative camp. Generally speaking, people here in the U.S. are very well behaved and very kind, and sweethearted people, just want what's best, what they think is best for the country. So anyways, I just hope that when he goes there, he takes care of some things for us. I know he'll take care of some things for himself as well, but we need something right now, the way the economy is looking, the way things are looking with the high gas prices. So gas price where I'm at, I just saw $4.50. I would say about 4 months ago it was $2.50. So we've already gone up almost 50% in about 4 months, and that can't be good for the economy, unfortunately. So we'll see where things take us from here. But hopefully he finds some things, some concessions at this meeting. I know he's dealing with Iran. I don't know what he's trying to do with China and Iran, if he's trying to get China on our side. I highly doubt that's going to happen. More likely than not, he's going to try to just get China not to help Iran. I'm sure that's part of his goal, whether or not that be that sending the missiles or drones or whatever their business is they have with Iran. I know they got the Belt and Road Initiative. Look that up. I believe that's one reason why we're in this war. There's a few other reasons as well, I'm sure you guys are aware of, but it's a tricky subject at the moment. So all I'm really hoping for is the best for our country and for our future, and we'll see where this leadership takes us from here. Me personally, I got no beef with anybody. I think that's pretty much the way most American people feel. We didn't want any more beef. We've been in beef for too long now, and we're ready for peace. And we're ready for peace and quiet, We're ready to focus on taking care of our citizens, and I think that speaks for most of us. And unfortunately, that's not what we got, what we thought we were getting. For those of you that were listening to what Trump was saying before he got elected, I know he was speaking about no more wars and so on and so forth. So anyways, that's what we're dealing with today. That was kind of how my morning went. That was how my training went. those are some thoughts I had on like kind of the bigger world stage and things that are going on in the world, at least as far as our country is concerned. And hopefully things can continue to get better. All I can do is just focus on myself, focus on my work, focus on my family, and focus on my training and my health as best as I can, and just go from there. So we'll see. But anyways, I'm gonna post again here shortly. I'm gonna post this up. Trying to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the way back from training, and so I'll be posting 3 times a week these stories, and just kind of trying to keep a journal of things going on in my life through my life and through the world and through my eyes. So look out for this to be posted soon. Look out for the next one to come shortly after that, and we'll just try to continue to be consistent with these going forward. Okay. All right, guys. You have a good night. Take care. Talk to you soon.